Hello, this is Gerald Tuavas. After having made the video about progress, I received the question if there would be a lot of difference with the word peace. Even though there's no R in it, there is indeed a lot of things that are happening in it with similar letters that direct you to a similar kind of focus. Namely, we are going towards a point in future which isn't immediately available and which needs certain conditions before we can push out the results or we can receive the results. And it would be nice, of course, to also compare it to a different kind of peace, which is written differently. Is there a lot of difference there? Of course, there's no difference in the pronunciation, but there's a difference in the writing. And of course, this will refocus the balance a little bit towards a different subject. And that's what I'm going to demonstrate in this video. I have a method for the demonstrations where I base upon my theory, based upon the practice of my theory, that all the letters are based upon focuses. So a focus upon a spatial frame in one centralized focus, or a focus which is changing position, which involves also time, or where the time as well is not fixed and it is actually more about the behavior where time and space are moving. That's the 1, 2, 3 option. And all of these three options we have letters. And also the positions from the middle to the side with 1, 2, 3 options. Again, in each of these areas, they give us all the basic letters actually that fit actually to the mindset that we have using the letters. And even though we do not use this very consciously, they work upon that kind of structure where you keep your focus, where you move your focus, or where your focus is really trying to measure that balance that it needs to figure out where the full picture is leading to. And that's how we describe words with these kind of letters, with these kind of focuses. So let's go to peace. And I already told you there will be a similarity with progress. What we also need in peace, of course, we need that kind of progress. And that progress is pushed forward by the P. The P is the end phase of all the kinds of direction of the second degree of complexity of letters, and they all are focusing upon these 1, 2 options, meaning the direction. So you go from one place to another place, from one timing to another timing, until you reach actually, like an end direction. So and that's the P. So you really want to you have so many directions, and really you want to focus upon the end result there. That's the P. That's your ambition also for peace as well, that you go towards a certain result. You want to receive a result at a certain time. All of your attention goes to that direction, that end direction. And that's where you have it. So you have the 1, 2 focuses are also like my focus, your focus. And it also goes towards someone else's opinion, someone else's conditions, some other conditions, if you have this in an impersonal association, and beyond it, because it also goes beyond it, so that it also looks already for context, the next level, by the way. And there you have in the background already 1, 2, 3. So it goes also towards the other and what you can make with the other from results. How do you do that is always written down with the vocals. That's your general, let's say, almost spatial focus of the vocals, and these are associated with E. E written as E plus A, but the sound is E. Where is the E? It's on top of the context-based focuses. This context-based focus is actually at the borders of the context that we have, where a new context comes in. So it is already the last picture, the last layer of the whole system is actually, you see these three phases. The first phase is associated almost like no, don't continue as you are going to. I have to have a new focus, renew your focus, so that you have actually the conditions that you need in the circumstance that you need, and the focus that you need, so that you can see where the time and space is vivid, is doing well actually, and is can do where you can do something. And how reality in general is like how the things are. But it's written down as A and A. But first, let's focus on where do we find E. The letter E is in the last phase of the 1, 2, 3 on the second part. So you need two focuses. So it's somewhere in between, and the real focus. So you have the two focuses. Meaning you don't see the beginning, you don't see the ending, but you know where, actually when you're focusing correctly with E, you know where the time and space should fit. With the E, it's between the always, infinity, and the never, infinity. There you will find the place where the time and space are correct. So there's also a sensitivity of there is a situation which might not be correct, another one which is correct. So here between the always and never, we will apply the correct moment and place referred to also a condition. Of course, this condition will be at the end of P. Logically, the first letter is P, so it's the end of P. There's a condition that we need. So the correctly applied moment and place will be referred to as a condition where all my attention will be directed to via E and A. Okay, now we're going to define, of course, this E and A, but what we already know is, because it's what I can also add is, because it's the second stage, you also have always these three stages, or three colors even. Blue, the space, the starting points, green, the progressions, and red, the danger zone, where we see, okay, we have to be careful to do it right. This is a combination of the danger zone on top, the third level, but it's the second degree of the third level, of the third option. So it is also the progress. It is also the right time and place to have a progress, so that you can be sure that in this danger zone you will find your right time and place. The prosperous place, actually. But it's written as A and as I said, so let's now show you how this direction of thought and attention towards E is going towards that point. First, the letter E. The letter E, second in the second level of the three levels, in the middle there, where you can see the letter E. The letter E is about timing. It's that highlight of timing. It also means there is a point where I can make a change. So that's my starting point of my focus, again towards that same spot where there is that change. A change can happen. Compared to timing on its own, you normally have this timing again in 1, 2, so from me to you. But it's the P presses it out also in timing with a delay, with a certain delay towards a certain context, a context which you need to access or achieve or receive or get to first with your direction, with your attentions, and then also with that highlighting moment to take out. So it's between. So you have this. The first option of timing is where you plan the timing. The second one is where you can change. The change cannot happen immediately, so it is not immediately there where the other is. It's a bit further away. It needs that context first, so it goes a bit away, thanks to the P and then to the E, focusing upon where I have to land to, also with the sound E. And in a way, it is also followed by A. A is the sound of focus, general focus from the things that are before you. Usually in space, it's a spatial reference, so it means it focuses upon the things that are real and they're not immediately available. That's what we already know, so we have to follow the time setting as well. There is a certain maintenance. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but there is a continuation in the focus actually. So you want to keep your focus, you keep your attention in your focus a whole time, a certain time. You give this attention a certain time. It follows the time of E. It starts from E, so it follows the timing in E until you have that highlight. So it's working towards it upon that horizontal continuance. So from here, the normal spatial frame towards what is immediately before you, also that one moves to what is not immediately before you, to what comes next. And what comes next is of course associated again with that context that I need to find first. Where that moment where something is ready in time and space is found. The letter S is the last one. And now we come to the differences between the two words peace written as S or the peace written as C and A. S here is really about the end effect that we will get, the reality feedback actually that we will receive at the end. Here it's quite simple, so you go from space and you go immediately to that reality feedback in the end. So with peace as into a physical association in A, you come to the peace as it is written as P, A, E, A and S, to the object actually where the conditions are ready, where you go towards the conditions, you give attention to these conditions until the peace are ready. It's that reality check, and once you see, oh, the reality check is there, I have my highlight, I can harvest my peace. For peace, with the C and E, it's not immediately there. We have to check even more. The reality check is even more complex, more than the letter S in the background. The reality check is the same thing. That reality check is gets an extra focus of attention with C and E. So this feedback system will also go deeper towards actually where my point of C is. My point of C. Where is my point of C? My system. It's also a focus upon space, upon what do we have in space, what do we have in the formation processes, what do we have in its conditions, with the C also, and focus upon that. Because the conditions are not immediately available, they are at the edges of what you see, what is developing, so they have a couple of variations where you have to deal with. Now these variations compared to the S can also be compared to these could compare it also to the reality check into different levels on space, in time, and in context. Are they all into one line? Okay, then we have it. You can translate it differently, like you say, okay, do I have the conditions in space? Do I have the conditions in my timing? Is the time right? And do I have the conditions right in the context, where all things come together, that you say, okay, the time and space are right and they combine. So I have one focus that all matches. Then I have my piece. So I'll check. I can also see that in space only. So these three options in my system, you have 1 point from the first 9 letters. You have 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. In C, you check 3 different points of where you deal with. Compared to S, it's of course these 3 points. There should be in a line. So you have 3 kinds of focus. You focus on space, on time, and on the time space. Is it all matching? Is it all coming together in space, in time, in context? Okay, then we have it. We check the surrounding, the direct effects, where all the things are leading to in its formation process. That's a focus in C. It's not just C, it's also with E. So E, the E, again, focuses in the timing to the highlight. We already know where that highlight is. I will enlarge this arrow where I actually say, like, okay, I go from space with my 3 focuses, and I check it in that all things are in line. I have my reality check, my feedback from the S. Is that still go? Can I have that into one go? Can I have the whole thing that the feedback comes to me that, okay, the what I see in space is I can focus upon it, I can count on it with a C. On the timing, is the time right? Okay, then I can count on it. Is the context right, that I can establish it? Okay, then I also can count on it, and then I can go for it. And that's peace, basically. Thanks again for watching. Bye.